What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for a late night update. Been a while since we've done one of these. So, yeah, let's just get straight into it because there's been some reports regarding the manager situation at Tottenham. David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano both piping up this evening. And David Ornstein says that Tottenham Hotspur are actively working on candidates to replace Igor Tudor if the decision is taken to go for another coach and change after the Liverpool game. Unclear whether it will be an interim again or a longer term appointment, but Tottenham are exploring the options. And Fabrizio Romano says Igor Tudor's job is at serious risk. Tottenham's dream managerial target right now is Roberto Deserbi, and Deserbi is the ideal person Spurs want, but it depends on several things and it's not easy. So Deserbi, the dream option of today.
Is anyone really surprised about this current situation? Everyone's been saying Tudor doesn't look like he's the right man for the job. The things he's saying in press conferences, first of all, the results and the performances, that's first off, have been horrific, and they've gotten worse. There's no two ways about it. The stuff he was saying, I've just seen some of his quotes, and I was watching his press conferences. He seems lost. He's been saying things like, "Oh, the problems are so big here that I don't know." He's brought in, should have been knowing that there's massive issues here. He's brought in because there's massive issues, because we basically just need to stay up, because we're right down in the dumps right now. And your job is just to be here for a couple of months, get a few results, and then be gone in the summer. That's your remit. Your job. He's not here to sort out the club, is he? He's not here to go through the deep-rooted issues. He's here to sort out for a few months whatever the issues are, put them to the side, and just get a few results out of these group. And obviously, he's not capable of doing that. I don't really care if he goes. I'm pretty happy for him to go, and I think he's out of his depth right now. He can't sort this situation out. He's rubbed players up the wrong way, apparently. The players obviously have to take their own accountability, but he hasn't bonded with the players. He hasn't got any positivity with the players. And if that ain't going to happen, we're going to go down. So I'm very in favour of changing it. Deserby, I said when Frank was sacked, for me, I wouldn't wait around for Poch. I think it's too big of a risk because we could still go down, and two, I love Poch, but I want him back. But it's not like I'm going to do. I don't think for me it's like he's that good that I would wait till the end of the earth to go for him. There's other managers out there who can come in permanently. I'm willing to give that a try as well. For me, Deserby, I'm willing to give that a go. 100%. I think he's a very talented coach. I think he plays really, really great football. I think tactically, the way that he gets teams playing, in kind of like modern, like in football in like 2026, I think it's right up there. I think he could do a good job here. Now, the problem is, does he want to come here with such a short amount of games? How long is it going to take to implement his way of playing? He is a massive hothead. Does he come in and calm the situation down, or is it like pouring petrol on a fire with him coming? So definitely those are all issues. However, I'm looking at the situation. You're looking at Harry Redknapp. You're looking at Ryan Mason. You're looking at maybe keeping Igor Tudor. You're looking. Sean Dyche is being considered for blood, for God's sake. Sean Dyche, that's who we're looking at. Or would I rather Deserby? Would I rather give us? And he rejected us. If you're asking me, would I rather roll the dice on any of those four managers keeping us up and then wait for Poch, or give Deserby a 2-year deal? I'll give Deserby a 2-year deal and see what he can do. And right now, and at the end of the day, if he keeps us up and then we go our separate ways, we go our separate ways. But right now, we just need the price of relegation will be far beyond any of the prices they would pay for getting the Derby and sacking him or whatever. So make whatever promise you want, give him a deal, throw money at him and get him in. Or Ange or whatever. I said Ange before, but if we're not going back to Ange, Deserby. I would roll the dice on Deserby because people. You got to realise we're going down. We're getting relegated right now. We need something drastic. And look, it is a drastic thing, and it is a hothead, and it's crazy. I'm willing to give it a go because we need something crazy right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, Sim, I've been telling you since the Palace game that we got to sack Igor Tudor, and he's not fit for purpose. It's clear to see he's already disillusioned with the squad. You know, he's saying the quotes that he was coming out with in the press conference today was just, I think, a bit nuts. And he started swearing. He's getting so frustrated with the situation. He's not a calm voice. He's not a cool head. He's not fit for purpose, in my opinion. The decisions he's making on the pitch, you know, he had to go after the Palace game. There is no point keeping him in after that Palace game, because if you can't win that, then it's very unlikely you're going to win any of these games coming up, the Atletico game, the Liverpool game. And I think it's clear for everyone to see we're going to probably get battered at Liverpool, and he's going to go after that. So it's all about what they're saying is looking at the successor and who's going to come in. Roberto De Zerbi was a name on the list before Tudor came in. So I think conversations were already had before then, and he's probably rejected us a couple of weeks ago when we brought in Igor Tudor. So what is it right now that is going to change his mind, Roberto De Zerbi, to come into Spurs at this moment in time when we're in an even worse situation than we were than when we last spoke to him? I just can't see a situation where De Zerbi is like, you know what, I'm going to take that job. I just can't. I think
That happened with Conte.
I know, but it wasn't so quick, and we weren't in it. It was like 6 months later, wasn't it? It was a completely different situation.
About what, 3 months?
Maybe
He
so.
He rejected us in the summer, and we got him in November. I think early November.
Yeah, look, yeah, fine, you're right there, but I think this is a completely different scenario. We're literally a point above the relegation zone, and it looks like there's no saving us. Like Roberto De Zerbi, I in my opinion, probably didn't want to come in because he didn't want to battle relegation. You know, that's why he probably rejected us. And now we're in an even worse situation. We're 1 point above the drop. I said no to De Zerbi a few months ago, whenever it was, a few weeks ago. But look, beggars can't be choosers at this point. I probably would bring him in because I don't see a better option. But look, there's massive risks to whoever we bring in. But De Zerbi, I agree with you in what you said. He's going to pour petrol on the fire. He's not a player that comes. He's not a manager that comes in as probably.
How much bigger can this fire get? If we're being honest.
Well, the fire gets even bigger when we actually drop into the relegation zone. Probably
We're dropping. We're going to be there. So right now, it's like I don't know how much. It's a blaze. It's like a nuclear bomb's been dropped on this bloody football club. I don't know how much more petrol, how much bigger the explosion could be. We're about to implode. We need something drastic.
You know, the situation with Roberto De Zerbi, it was either one of two things. Either scenario number one is what I said before, is that he rejected us a few weeks ago and he didn't want to be involved in a relegation battle. Scenario number two is that they've just gone for an interim and done everything to hold out for Poch in the summer. And they didn't even speak, and they didn't even, properly consider De Zerbi. Which one do you think it is?
I reckon it's more likely number two. I reckon they offered De Zerbi an interim role, and he obviously flat out rejected that. He was never going to take an interim role. And then I don't think we were comfortable giving him a full-time role here. And I think we probably hesitated on considering that. So we thought, you know what, we'll put in an interim, we'll wait for Poch, we're comfortable giving him the job. And unfortunately, waiting for Poch isn't going to cut it. We're not going to make it to Poch at this point. So now we're looking at a situation like, okay, what if we just sit down with Zerbi, offer him a full-time role, give him some promises, give him a couple-year contract, and maybe we can sway him, and he can keep us up, back him in the summer, whatever that means, and we'll give him some false promises. And then
what are we going to give him?
You know what?
Vida has just come out and said how bad our finances are, and we have to sell players to buy and all this kind of stuff.
Oh man, I know. I don't know. I don't know if he accepts that even. Also, you've got to remember when De Zerbi was first offered the job, I believe he had just left literally within a few days of that Marseille job. So taking that another job within a few days was also a bit much. They said he wanted a break. He's now been out of a job for a month or whatever it is, 6 weeks. Maybe it's a little bit of time just to reset, recalibrate, and maybe he's looking at it thinking, maybe if they give me some promises, maybe I'll take it. I'm willing to roll the dice personally. We're not getting any better than Zerbi, that's for sure. And so he's the best we're going to get. I think if De Zerbi's willing to come and there's a deal to be made, would be insane not to do it right now, given the situation. Even if we give him false promises, even whatever it is, because I think the alternative is worse. So I don't really see a better outcome than getting Deserby right now.
But the thing is, right, if we do bring in a Deserby now and he's willing to come, it just makes a mockery of going for Igor Tudor in the first place.
All the sacking Igor Tudor makes a mockery of going for him for the first. The whole thing is a joke. The whole thing is a joke. Igor Tudor was just basically, I think the club thought, I understand, right? When right now we're in a situation where it looks unsavable. When Igor Tudor came in, it was obviously very, very bad. But they thought a new voice, someone will get some results. He'll just come in. The players will hopefully take to him, and he'll just be able to get some results, and he'll be able to keep us up. It shouldn't take too much to keep us up. I reckon that was the feeling. Either they underestimated it, or they underestimated how bad Tudor is, or underestimated even at that point, like how certain we are looking at for the drop. I think even at that point, I understand they sacked Frank because of the threat of relegation, because I think we were 4 points or 4 points or 6. I think it was 6 points. I think at that point was it 6 points when we sacked him. So at that point, they're looking and thinking, look, we're too close. We need to get rid. But I don't know if they even at that point thought how hard it would be to get out of that situation. I think they still thought, just put someone else in. They'll get a couple of results, and we'll coast to the end of the season and get to Poch. I think that's what they thought. I think they're now come to realization that ain't going to cut it. We're not going to be able to coast it. We need someone to implement something serious to get us the points here. We need a proper manager. We can't just coast till the end of the season with an interim and hope for the best and cross our fingers. It's not going to cut it. And an interim at the moment is basically coming in here, and they don't respect him. It's like having a substitute teacher here. They know he's not going to be here at the end of the season. He can say what he wants. He can call the shots. He can drop people, criticize people. Why listen to him? Why have a disciplinarian in there who's an interim when he's got no power? Essentially, it seems like that is causing a lot of problems, and they haven't taken to it. Maybe if you get someone in there who they know is going to be the manager in the summer, gives him a little bit of authority. He is going to play more attacking football as well. We know that. And he also doesn't take any shit, but at least he has a bit of power. At least he has a bit of authority, because he's going to be the manager on paper anyway for at least a couple years.
Yeah, but that's all bullshit, man. I'm telling you, how can these players think like that? I think it's insane if the players are thinking like that. Surely they know what trouble they're in, and do they really want to be the players and the team that took Tottenham Hotspur down to the Championship? Surely at some point, whoever the manager is, it shouldn't matter who it is, and the players should all just come together and just try their hardest to get us out of this situation. I think all that stuff about, it's an interim, and why does he he shouldn't have any power, or the players don't think he has any power, don't want to listen to him. That is just madness if that's true, because
my point being is it's more about, I don't know, I'm just going off some of the reports that have been suggested about his approach, Tudor's approach. And his approach is it seems as like, he's like Conte. He's harsh truths, telling the players their shit, disciplining them, like really going in on them. And when you take that approach, you need to have some sort of power behind you to back it up. And he doesn't have the CV of Conte. We know that for sure.
But this is what I'm talking about. The power behind him about it long term and shouldn't matter right now. We're in an emergency
I know it
situation.
shouldn't, but I don't. That's the reality, though. It seems.
That just shows you how weak these players are. It really does. I think it's disgusting. If that's the truth, it's absolutely disgusting that they can't just come together for the greater good of the club, for the greater good of themselves. It shouldn't matter who the manager is right now. Everyone should be fighting tooth and nail for the badge and for themselves. Great. The whole thing is an absolute joke. But look, in terms of Deserby, I just can't see it. Can you see him coming in now? I can't.
No, I think we've no, I can't see him. I can't see him accepting, to be honest. I think he rejects us. I think he knows probably if he waits till the summer, there might be a few other jobs popping open. He's got better options, right? I think if you're if you're a manager like Deserby, does the Tottenham job? I was going to say, does it come around all the time? But it does. But it does. So he could, whatever. It is going to come up again. But he knows if he waits till the summer, is there a Man United potentially there, looking for someone? Are there other clubs, maybe in other leagues, looking for someone? He'll have probably more options. So it's never good to make a decision in desperation and in emergency and in crisis like we are. And we need him right now more than he needs us. So I think if he's a smart man, clever man, he probably looks at it and says, "Nah, I'll wait till the summer." And you're just coming for me because you're desperate and you'll do anything just to stay up. And that's not really like we're not coming to him with like, we've got a project and this is how you fit in and this is the football we want to play as a football club. This is what we want to do. And it's like a holistic approach. And we really see you as part of the club and part of this project. We believe you're the man to take us forward. We're coming to him and saying, we're in a crisis. We're in absolute DEFCON 1. This is an absolute disaster. We just need some help. Anything, grabbing anything to help us. Come on, dude. We just need some sort of assistance right now. And we need someone to come and save the day and be the hero and save us. And we just need you. Can you do that? Can you save this shit show? Can you bring in all your fire engines to put this fire out because we're burning down? Like, can you do that? And that's never really a great situation to like come in and say, and to like, it's not really a great environment for him to implement his work, I would say. And if he's smart, he'll be like, no, I'll probably wait for someone, a more settled club or a better situation. Maybe if we stay up and we know the situation for next season, that's probably a better situation for him to step in and be like, okay, we can build this now. But right now, I think he'd probably look at that. I'm not joining that shit show. Why the hell would I get involved? Why associate myself with that? Like, what? I don't want to be the guy to be known as taking you down. Well, I'm not risking my reputation. Why would I do that? Obviously, on the upside, he could be the guy who saves us, and then all of a sudden, he's got the belief of some players and the club and the fans going into next season, and all of a sudden, you can build some momentum. So there is that side, but if I'm him, I wouldn't touch us with a barge pole. But then again, money talks. If we have money if there's a price, pay it.
Mm. Yeah, massive kind of saving us from relegation bonus and everything.
Exactly, all of that shit.
I feel like with Deserby, if like he's here for 1 week and the players just try that shit that they've been doing with Frank and that they've been doing with Igor Tudor, he's going to blow up within a week, and then we're definitely down.
You've seen it in training before. He's a nutter. He's a nutty. He won't take anything. But he will also. But he is a guy who encourages his players to really play football. Play. That's when he gets angry. It's like Tudor will get angry if someone's not tracking back or defending. And maybe Deserby, there's an element of that as well. But you misplace a pass. You're not, being brave on the ball. If you're being cowardly, you're not playing forward because you're scared of being tackled, all this stuff. That's when he gets really angry, because he needs his players to be brave. And he's angry when you're not brave enough and you're not playing football. That's when he gets angry. Whereas I just heard Tudor's press conference, and he's like, football's a game of mistakes, and we're making too many mistakes, and it's all about who makes the least mistakes and all that kind of stuff. And I don't like that philosophy. I understand you don't want players to make mistakes, but when players are scared of making mistakes, that's when they make mistakes. You know what I mean? You need to encourage the players that the way we play football, even if we do make a mistake or two here and there, like the way we play will compensate for that, and we'll still create chances and we'll still score goals. And they need to have confidence that not one mistake's not going to kill us, essentially. And it seems like Tudor's instilling this fear into the players, like you can't make any mistake, you can't do this, you can't do that. And look how many mistakes we've made over the last 4 games. It's been crazy, the amount. It's doubled probably the amount of mistakes we're making. So yeah, look, I'm not saying Deserby is a perfect candidate or we're guaranteed to stay up if we get him in. I'm just saying right now, I don't see a better option. If he's available and if money talks, we can get him in. I would do it. Push the button, spend as much money as it takes to get him in because we are desperate. But I think it's more of a kind of example of how much trouble we're in, rather than I think Deserby's the perfect man for Tottenham. I just think we're in that much trouble. I'm willing to try anything, kind of thing.
Yeah, look, it's a bloody perilous situation. Tottenham Hotspur in. It just feels like we've delayed the managerial situation so much this season because of the coasting that you're talking about. They coasted through with Frank because they thought Frank could coast us through till the end of the season, keep us up, and you go get Poch at the end of the summer. They got an interim with Tudor. They thought we could do the same. I mean, it's all just complete and utter madness and a shambles. And yeah, it could be a situation where we just have to go throw the book at Deserby, give him a 2-year contract, and the board have to forget this whole Pochettino dream in the summer. But
I mean, considering names like Deitch and Redknapp, I mean, wouldn't it be just insane if we could get Deserby and we don't? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying we can. I'm just saying if we could and we don't, that would be nuts, considering the other names we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, Deserby is miles better than those managers, but I was never a fan of bringing Deserby in because I know it's going to end in tears one way or another. But if he can keep us up,
Let it end in tears in the Premier League. That's what I say.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mark Ogden actually said that Pochettino is not regarded as an option for the next Man United manager, and senior Man United figures expect him to return to Tottenham when his contract with the US runs out after the World Cup. Obviously, if we get Deserby, that probably puts that to bed. But I, like I said before, I genuinely think Spurs are doing all they can to just ride this season out for Pochettino. But I think they've come to a head now where if they go to Zerbi, they just can't do that anymore. We can't just keep waiting for Poch till the end of the summer because we're going to get relegated.
We're not going to get to Poch. You can't wait for him. We're not going to get there. We're not going to make it. So what's the point? It's ridiculous. The situation's too perilous to be waiting for a manager. Look, I love Poch and I want him back and I'll take him back tomorrow. But we're not talking about Guardiola or who's willing to come here or something. We're talking about a manager who's still question marks over him. Even I'm not saying he's a bad manager, not at all. I would take him 100%.
When he goes
I
to
love
Real
him.
Madrid and wins it all. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if he's going to Madrid. I don't know if he's going to get a bigger. Maybe he'll go Atletico. I don't know if he's going to get a top job like that. To be honest, I really don't. I think he's a great manager, but he's still got there's some question marks over him even. So I think waiting for him is nuts. I think if you can get a permanent manager in right now, do it because there's no time. There's no time to waste.
I think that's what we've been doing pretty much ever since the question marks when Frank started popping up.
I agree, and I think it's crazy. That's why I said when I remember we did a video when Frank got sacked. What do? Do you put an interim in, or do you go for someone permanent, or do you put an interim in? Wait for? I said if we can go for someone now, right now. Don't wait for Poch. Don't. It's a fool's errand. It's stupid. It really is, in my opinion.
Well, we'll have to wait and see over the coming days. Look, we know this is going to be Tudor's last game, isn't it?
It's mad. It's like we've just thrown the game. We know he's going. We've got all the players out. It's like we're giving it to Tudor because we know he's going and he's going to lose. So fuck it, just give it to him.
They're basically looking at it saying no manager can win this game with the players.
Yeah, essentially. So just throw it.
So you may as well just throw Tudor to the wolves, let him lose the game, and let's start
heavily.
Yeah, and let's start afresh from Atletico's second leg.
Yeah, essentially, that's what it seems to me. I really hope there are conversations already being had, and I really hope that come Monday after we've lost 4-0, 5-0, whatever it is, we have an announcement. Tudor's gone, Deserby's reinstated, and
he did speak like a dead man walking though today, didn't he?
He did 100%. And if you watch, he did an interview on Sky Sports. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, to be honest. He really seemed like a guy who's completely lost, completely like given up. Like he says things like, "Yeah, I'm still, I'm trying to give confidence," all that stuff. Like he doesn't. When you see his body language, he doesn't believe what he's saying. He seems like he's already at a loss completely.
Yeah, I think he knows he's done. I think he knows he's done. And look, when Fabrizio and David Ornstein start speaking in this kind of manner, it's only going to go in one way. And whether that happens after the Liverpool game, the very latest after
you know what really told me, actually, what literally guaranteed me that he ain't coming, that he ain't staying. He was asked at his press conference about the assistant, and he gave a very, very sheepish answer. He was like, so like Golden, like, is it still happening? Is he still coming? He was like, yeah, working on it. It was it basically told me like the club don't want to spend any more money on this guy, bring another assistant. That's what it told me. Well, how long has it taken to get this bloody work permit done? He's been here for how long now? What, a month? It should have been done by now. We know. Well, I think what's happening is the club are really not sure about him, and they don't want to be spending more money with more coaches right now because he's about to be gone. And I think Tudor, before he was like saying, giving answers, oh, he's got a work permit, he's coming, and now he's like, yeah, he's coming. I think he's still. No, he didn't say he's coming. He said, yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. I'm like, okay, this guy's done. Yeah, this guy's done.
Dead man walking, man. We'll have to wait and see how it progresses, but still, we got to sit through these games against Liverpool. And, you know, he might even still get the Atletico game. Like, that's a dead rubber pretty much now as well. So maybe they'll give him both those games.
The problem is we can talk about sacking him, but unless it is someone like Deserby lined up, like, what the hell are we going to do?
Yeah.
Well, that's the reality. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Maybe someone like the old Dortmund manager.
Terzic.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? If you give me anyone who's managed at the top level in the last like 5 years for like more than 6, who's not an interim firefighter, I'll probably be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, at least Zerbi knows the league. I think that goes a long way at this stage of the season. I really do.
Yeah, that'll help.
But look, we'll have to wait and see how it progresses. But that is the news right now. It looks as though Igor Tudor is on the brink. And Fabrizio Romano saying Deserbi is the ideal person that Spurs want, but it depends on several things and it's not easy. So
Never is with
whenever
Tottenham.
Fabrizio Romano reports on Tottenham, the last few words is always, it's not easy.
Not simple. It's complicated. Something always. It's never easy with Tottenham. It's never easy.
All right. Well, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you want to see Deserbi at Spurs? And is it time for Igor Tudor to pack his bags and go back to Italy? Let us know. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, Spurs.